Hello, Josie here. You ready for the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And are you sure? Okay, here we go. This is going to be part 2, or an addendum to the last video I just released. And I spoke in that video, if you listen to the entirety of it, I spoke in regard to a hotel, there being a conference here, and a whole bunch of people coming in and around when I was getting ready to go up to my room for the evening, and just kind of being turned off to that and being aware of the energies that were around, the negative energies as well as some of the positive energies, and how there was kind of this combativeness for, whether people would speak or be polite or anything of that nature, because I'm someone that I get along with a lot of different people, but when you're in an environment with other people that know each other versus them knowing who you are, and somebody might feel threatened by your light or by your shine or how you look or whatever, that can have people to retract and refrain from being their authentic selves so that they do not anger or upset another person. You might be like, where did you get that from? How did you know that? Back in 2019, I was a part of a store conference as well, and we went to a hotel. Of course, the entire company was staying at this one specific hotel. We basically, in a way, took over during this conference that was for a week, an entire week. And I saw a lot of reality and truth during that conference I had never experienced before. I also felt a lot of energies, positive, negative, as well as indifferent, during that week from colleagues, other store managers, and so on and so forth, as well as the higher ups. I could sense and read their energy, and they didn't know and or were not aware that I could sense and read their energy that entire week. Okay? So, you might say, what does that have to do with what you just explained? Further, there were different events and parties that were held during that week where we had to come together as a company, as a team, as they put it, and socialize. So we had dinner events. There was also breakfast events as well too. There was, of course, meetings and so on and so forth, and conferences, whatnot. But there were times where we could just hang out, chit chat, talk, and whatnot. And I could pick up on a lot of the different cues that they were making between each other. I could also pick up on the energies, some that were negative but trying to fake it, wear a mask and, be polite and talk and so on and so forth. But they really didn't like me. And the reason why they didn't like me was because I was shining too bright for them. They had an irritating response to being around me, and it showed. It was noticeable. I called somebody out on it while I was there. This person would then proceed to do any and everything to try to come against me while they were there at the company. They left. They started a business. One of the items that they made was something that I made for someone that I was seeing at the time. It was almost an exact replica, except on a smaller scale. And I found that interesting. I found that very interesting. Also, there were certain individuals that were trying to speak and or be friendly towards me, but they were pulled away, or they had something come up or some kind of issue or problem that kept them from being polite and or communicative with me. And that was kind of interesting, to say the least, very interesting. Last but not least, there were certain people that I could just sense they were testing me. There was there was this like almost like a scavenger hunt they created, where we had to go around and find clues and work together in these separate teams. And we were going around this hotel that we were staying at, and there were people that were at the hotel that were a part of this scavenger hunt, people that were not associated with the company at all. These were people that were brought in by a company that basically set up these types of games for these large companies. So there were people that were staying at the hotel that our company was staying at that was a part of this scavenger hunt, or this kind of scavenger hunt type thing that we were doing. And so you didn't know that these people were a part of this company or this team. Now, getting back to it, in this place that I'm currently staying at right now, there could be a myriad of different individuals that are staying here that know me, know who I am, but I don't know who they are. I don't know that they are being used as part of some kind of game. You know what I'm saying? Because you've heard all the world is a stage. So, if that's a saying, right? All the world is a stage. You're out here in the world. We're out here in these different environments, these different places and spaces. You are a part of, in a way, a game. You can be a part of somebody else's game and not even know that you're a part of their game or playing in their game. And this game be set up to test you, test your responses, test getting your energy, try to affect your energy, make you feel some type of way, people to treat you a certain way to try to get a reaction out of you because they know who you are, but you don't know who they are. Same thing happened back in 2019 when I went to that conference. I saw a lot of people for exactly who they were, and there were a lot of people that I did not know who they were, but they knew who I was. And they were playing a game with me and my energy. I didn't like that. Let me tell you what happened at the end of the conference for those of you that want to hear, the results of it. As soon as I got in the vehicle and got on the road heading back to Houston, I burst into tears. That was such a draining experience. All of the negative energy and also some of the positive energy. That was a lot to take. That was a lot to deal with. And they put me through a lot of shit during that conference week. There was one individual that worked at the company in a higher up position. She actually apologized to me. She did it on the low, but I heard her and I knew what she meant. She apologized to me because she had a part and a role that she had to play within the company to come against me. It wasn't too long after that conference, she put in her resignation. It wasn't too long after that conference, quite a few individuals put in their resignation because they knew what that company was doing against me intentionally. Because my light irritated their demons and irritated their ego. And that was the start of a long time campaign of coming against me intentionally in various ways. Gain information from me to improve the business, then disparage my character in the process, and ultimately get me to either quit, resign, or what they ended up doing was terminating me. And they created the evidence that they needed. And when I say created, they staged the evidence that they used in order to wrongfully terminate me. And they thought I didn't see what they did. They didn't think I knew what they were doing, but I did. So, I want to share that with you because it is quite real out here. And within these companies and within these certain environments that you go into, spaces and places. And you have individuals. And I also think about Darby Shaw from The Pelican Brief, if you haven't seen that movie. What did they do to Darby Shaw when she put out her paper in regard to the deaths of Rosenberg and Jensen? What happened? What did they do to her? What did they try to do to her? And then what did she do? What did she have to do to save her life? As well as make sure that the truth was exposed. accurately. Another movie that you should watch, and another prime example of how people can come up against you just for speaking the truth, just for being yourself, just for being able to put two and two together, being able to create, and I say create, but being able to put the picture, like to explain the picture. And I saw it a long time ago, and I kept quiet for all these years. So imagine if these individuals are watching my content and I'm exposing them and I'm telling the truth. What do you think that they would stage to try to discredit me? What do you think that they would do to try to disparage my character? There you go. Gotta go.